FCR UK. Please can we put our hands together for him as he comes over.
It was never Air Nigeria, it was Ethiopian Air trying to flag our flag. It was not Air Nigeria. That is the truth. There was not in Air Nigeria. It was only painted Air Nigeria. It was Ethiopian airline trying to fly our flag. If it is so, why not allow our local people to fly our flag? Why bring the foreigner to fly our flag? So nobody should deceive that it was Air Nigeria. Air Nigeria must be indigenous, must be wholly Nigeria, or must be for the full benefits of Nigeria. Not that 60% of the profit was in another country. How does that benefit us? How? It remains suspended. It remains so. But luckily, good news, IBOM is almost there now. IBOM is doing the first massive MRO in Nigeria, and I went there recently to just oversee the facility, and I promised them full government certification and support. And it's been undertaken with Airbus. Airbus officials are there equipping it, and they are 90% ready. IBOM is 90% ready with one of the biggest MROs in Africa right now. It's there. So we are focused on bringing the MRO so that we can do our A checks, our B checks, and our C checks here in Nigeria. Now, we are also making conscious and gradual efforts towards embracing eco-friendly practices, which is actually what the world is about now. Eco-friendly practices and green technologies in line with ICAO's long-term global aspirational goal of net zero carbon emissions in the aviation sector. So they want us to apply, first of all, the type of fuel that does not burn so much, that is low carbon emission. They want us to use green airports, to do green airports. And guess what? That is why we want to eliminate the use of diesel to run our airports gradually. We have more than 50 proposals on our table. The PS can say that, can testify. 50 for people who are coming to run our airports to start with their money on solar. They want to run our airports on solar. And that will save us so much every month. Lagos Airport alone, I am told, we do 1 billion naira monthly on electricity. And I said, why? That's something I'm still trying to crack. I said, why? The first thing I said they should do is to bypass the disco and go to the Genco, because we are what they call eligible users. We are eligible customers. So why do you pay a disco that will put profit on top when you are an eligible customer? Cut them off, go to the Genco straight. We are doing that, and they are protesting up and down to go and meet Mr. President. I said go everywhere, except Mr. President tells me to pay the extra money. Because by doing that, we are saving 30%. We are saving 30%. So if we are supposed to pay 1 billion, we are going to pay 600 million in total, in terms of consumption. Because you know, those airports, unlike the other ones that we shut down by 6 o'clock, those airports must run 24 hours, Lagos and Abuja. All the international airports must run 24 hours because of flights coming in internationally. But the other ones we shut down by 6 o'clock. So those are very expensive to run. So we want to run on solar. And we have so many proposals now to turn them into green, environment. We have more than 50, and they're bringing their money. They are not saying we don't want your money, just pay us. Part of that money you are using to pay for electricity every month, 1 billion. If you pay it small every month, you eliminate, you pay us, which is very economical. So we are transiting to that right now. There are other issues, little issues at infrastructural development, but this is our clear path forward, and this is where we are taking the aviation industry to. Thank you, and God bless you.
And then dovetail quickly into our achievements as they relate to these 5 focus areas. 1, because safety is key, we said we would ensure strict compliance with safety regulations and continuous upward movement of Nigeria's rating by the International Civil Aviation Organization. They conduct periodic audits of various countries and the aviation sector, and they score you marks. So my priority, we said, we would comply strictly, ensure the compliance by the relevant agencies of these safety regulations. 2, we said we are going to ensure the growth and sustenance of our local businesses, airline businesses, which has never been a focal area before. But we thought it was nice to set that as a focal area. to support the growth and sustenance of our local airline businesses whilst holding them to the highest international standards in the aviation sector. We are going to elaborate on that later and a few things we have done in that respect. 3, we said we are going to improve infrastructure in the aviation industry. The big infrastructure, modern infrastructure, and of course maintaining the existing infrastructure. And of course we said 4, we are going to concentrate on development of human capacity within the industry. The aviation industry is one of the industries sector that attracts the highest number of training because it's very contemporary and because of safety. Various technical people within the industry, they have to update their knowledge almost periodically in order to meet up with global standards. And of course, we said we are going to the 5th one, we are going to optimize revenue generation. Not impose new taxes, so we're not saying we are just going to optimize it. Leakages, areas where we thought there were leakages, we're not doing well, we're going to plug those areas to optimize revenue within the sector. Now, how have we fared in terms of these areas and our achievements? Let me even start from the very latest, so we'll not go back very well. I just came back from Saudi Arabia, and I have good news for you from Saudi Arabia. I met my counterpart in Saudi Arabia on his invitation, and we have agreed. My counterpart is Jassim Saif Ahmed Al Sulaiti of Saudi Arabia. We have agreed that we are going to resume cargo flights between Nigeria and Saudi Arabia. This had been suspended for long, but now cargo flights are back. We have agreed to resume cargo flights between Nigeria and Saudi Arabia. Now, guess what? Globally, air cargo trade accounts for about 35% of the world trade. 35%. And air cargo trade, according to the International Air Transport Association, IATA, attracts about $6 trillion annually. And we are missing, within that, sector. We were missing. Nigeria was missing. In many routes across the world. We have just started with Saudi Arabia. We have achieved that. But I'm going to continue my interaction with various countries of the world that I think, we can benefit from in terms of resumption of the cargo trade between our countries. So that is back. We have appointed focal persons to work out the modalities. But we have achieved that in the aviation sector. But let me go back to the beginning. Within 1 month, this is not one, within 2 weeks of our assumption of office, and this is where interministerial, cooperation comes in. Something that has been protracted since the Obasanjo area, the second runway. The second runway, you all journalists, it had been a problem, like a sore thumb that was sticking out. Since the Obasanjo era, it was controversy after controversy after controversy. Some efforts started during the last administration, so we have to acknowledge that. In fact, certain seed funding was provided during the last administration, a year before the termination. But yet, the contractors could not move to site. There were so many controversies regarding settlers on that strip of land where the second runway is going to pass through. And the danger of operating a nation's capital, a nation with just one runway, we can't even imagine the dangers of just using one runway in the nation's capital. We thought that was priority once we came in. Just imagine foreign heads of state coming in to Nigeria one day and there's a problem on the runway. Where are we going to divert them to? Where? Another country? How? Are we going to cancel the conference if they are coming for a conference or a state visit? So it's inconceivable that a nation's capital would be operating on one runway, and we've been doing it for many years. But guess what? It didn't take 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks when we came in. Using our God-given skills as lawyers, it was not difficult for us to engage with people. And it was out of court resolution. it was resolved with some assistance from the Ministry of FCT. With some assistance, it was resolved by us with less than 2 weeks. They agreed, they pulled out. There were 1 or 2 things here to resolve, but the contractors have moved to site, and I'm happy to tell you that the construction of the second runway has started. It has started. Anytime you are landing in Abuja, look to your right, because you always approach from the south. Look to your right, you will see the second runway. It's visible. You will see all the trucks there making the runway and clearing it. So the second runway has started. Before we came to office, also, of course, the new terminal in Lagos was ready. We have to acknowledge that. But it could not be used. They could not use the new terminal. It was put to very minimum use. They could not optimize the use. Why? Because there were certain defects, structural defects, architectural defects, operational defects within that runway. Within 1 month, within that, not runway, I'm sorry, within the building. Within 1 month, we found a solution to those problems. And we ordered all the international airlines to move to that new terminal in Lagos. And before I came, they said it was impossible. That was the word they used. Ask them, the fan people are here. They told me as minister that it was impossible because of the problems there, that they could not use it. And I said them that the renewed hope agenda is about making the impossible possible. That is the renewed hope agenda, making the impossible possible. So I blocked my ear to civil servants telling me it's impossible. Civil servants, permanent secretary. I told my colleague, don't let civil servants tell you that it's impossible. Oh. Don't mind them. Oh. Follow your political objectives, your clear objectives. And I blocked my ears. I said, let the place go loud first. Enter there. Let me see the problem. Enter first. And that is what they are using today. Impossible has become possible. That's what they are using today. First of all, they said the big aircraft could not come in and anchor. So that's one reason why international flights cannot arrive there. I said, so then why build it? Who approved this design? They said because some hangars were blocking it. I said, I have traveled to Turkey. I have traveled to Doha. I have traveled. People enter buses when they land. Let them somewhere enter buses. Let's use it. And that's what they are doing. In some area, they are doing that. Now you can't take my position. So we have made it fully functional, the new airport in Lagos. We also got some cooperation. This is also another interministerial cooperation from immigration, which is the Ministry of Interior. And through a PPP, we had to remodel under our watch. Go and look at the arrival of the Wing E of the International Airport in Lagos. Wing E. It was through PPP, quick thinking with PPP, immigration and, because immigration and FAN, they are in charge of certain parts of the airport, especially where you arrive. Departure is not that, but where you arrive, immigration. We got PPP to come in. They smashed down the entire arrival of Wing E, and we got a brand new Wing E of the International Airport in Lagos. So that's a low-hanging fruit, and we have achieved that. Go to Wing E, not D. We are still working on D. But Wing E, the arrival of Wing E, is a brand new arrival we have in Wing E. Now, we also met on ground one runway in Lagos. Of course, Lagos has always had 2 runways, but we met one runway in Lagos that was only functional, because a year before we came to office, the second runway called 18 right. We have 18 left, and 18 left was functional when we came in. Of course, with some little problems here and there. So we're managing the 18 left, but 18 right was totally non-functional, and it was closed down totally. And we felt that was danger for Lagos. Abuja 1 runway, Lagos 1 runway operational. And so we quickly went to work. To the low-hanging fruit, that one was initiated by us. We got people, we got funding somehow, and we quickly resurfaced and repaired 18 right, and 18 right was opened just this year. And so we have 2 functional runways in Lagos. Another issue that we met on the ground, I'm sure we all know this issue, was the issue of trapped funds of the international airlines. Their funds were trapped here because of lack of liquidity on the part of Nigeria, because of so many subsidies we pay with our foreign earnings. And so foreign airlines were threatening to stop operating to Nigeria. Now, I must give credit to all those in the financial sector for this. We had to work closely with the CBN, we had to work closely with the Minister of Finance, we had to work closely with all of the ministers in the financial sector. And by our persistence and working closely with them, of course, you know, we are happy to announce that we have cleared all the trap funds on the CBN. We have cleared all the trap funds of the foreign airlines. And of course, then we identified the issue of assisting our local airlines.